What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at the all-new 2021 Mercedes-Benz C-Class. We've got a C300 today, and we're going to check it out to see what has been changed compared to the previous C-Class, of course, and how it compares to competition like the BMW 330i. I'm going to show you around it. We're going to talk a bit about the spec we've got today, and then I'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. The new C-Class, all these new Mercedes cars, the S-Class, the E-Class, the C-Class and the A-Class saloon, they're like a Russian doll, you know? What are they called? Matrushkas or something like that? It's like a bigger version, and then you take it out and there's a little smaller version, and then you take it out and there's a little smaller version, and then that's what this feels like. And the thing is, it kind of works on the S-Class, but the further down you go, the stranger the cars look. And we're going to do this a bit differently today, because I'm just going to show you the rear, because I think this is the best place to kind of say that on an S-Class the proportions work, and then I just don't feel like these lights, I think they look a bit weird on this car. The car in general looks a bit fat, a bit obese, a bit, I don't know. It doesn't look. And then you've got like this A-Class front. I don't know, I think it's a bit of a weird collection of different models that they thought, okay, we'll just make a new C-Class with all the parts from other cars. It's just a bit strange. Anyway, let's take a look at the car. We've got an obsidian black C-Class with, I think this is a new design grille with this little Mercedes logo in there. All these little ones. So we don't have a Panamericana grille, which is great, because everyone and their mother is putting a Panamericana grille on their regular Mercedes cars. And I hope that Mercedes will not do it, because they are offering, I think they're offering the Panamericana grille on some cars as an option that really don't deserve it. So I hope they don't do that with the new C-Class. We've got these AMG wheels, 19-inch. With Goodyear Eagle F1 tires. They're a bit too sporty. You've got a very narrow tire, and the C-Class is about comfort most of the time, especially a C300, I would say. And the wheel kind of demolishes that. It's a bit too harsh for this car, I would say. So I would definitely recommend going a size down, going for like 18-inch with a bit of a higher tire. I think that would suit this car a bit better. So at the rear we've got those new lights with this LED in there, which is, I think, is that OLED or matrix, whatever. I think the light unit themselves look really cool, very intricate. You can see all the different parts here. There's something down there. I think that's the indicator. Let's take a look at that. Oh, that's the indicator. Okay, so what's, oh, that's a brake light, I think. Okay, so I do kind of like the light units themselves. I don't really like the shape. I think that's it. But I had the same problem with the new GLE, and I kind of got used to it. So I don't know, maybe that happens with this car as well. But for now, I don't really like it. I think it looks a bit too much like a CLA or like an A-Class. Another thing I really don't like, and I get really desperate about this stuff, is this exhaust. So we've got a diffuser kind of, and then we've got the exhaust, but that's freaking fake. Oh, I hate this so much. It makes me want to cry. Gimme. I already put my fist in there, so the lovely people have already seen it, but I can show it with the stick.
That's a weird sentence. The stick is a bit soft though.
What did you do to it? Okay, so they didn't even try to hide it. It's so shallow. It's like this, and then it's just plastic. I hate it. And it's on both sides. Stupid. I don't like it. They should really stop with that. So where are the actual tailpipes? There they are! Like an old diesel pointing down. I know it has something to do with with the this emission stuff or regulations or whatever. If that's the case, just get rid of the exhaust, because this is horrible. I mean, you would get laughed at for this kind of stuff not too long ago, but nowadays it seems kind of accepted. And I saw some comments, I think it was on Instagram or something. We posted a video, a story about this. And there was one person who commented, and he said, even my, what was it? I think he said, even my Toyota RAV4 hybrid has real exhaust tailpipes. So, I mean, they should stop with that. Okay, down here we've got, as I said, we've got a C300. So we've got a 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol engine, turbocharged with 258 horsepower. And around 400 Newton meters of torque, 0 to 100, 6 seconds, top speed, 250 kilometers an hour. Yeah, there are 4 engines available from launch. So we've got a C200, C300, C220D and the C300D. Now I think the last one is the one to have currently, because it's got 265-ish horsepower. I'm guessing a lot of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 5.7, so it's the quickest one available. They all have 48-volt mild hybrid stuff, so we've got that super quiet starter alternator thing. You don't really hear the car starting up, which is kind of weird. Still have to get used to that. Later on, we're going to get a couple of plug-in hybrids as well, and of course we're getting a C63, an AMG later on, which we now know has a 4-cylinder with hybrid tech and not a V8 anymore. So let's just take a moment for that. Moment of silence. Thank you, because that will be the end of the C63. I don't see that going very well. All right, so as you might notice, I'm not too excited about all this stuff with the new car. The interior though this is pretty much where this car has to shine. A lot of people buy this car for its interior. So I'll start it up. That's it. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane how quiet that startup is. You don't really feel it. But anyway, a lot of people are going to buy this car because they want a comfortable car and because they want this interior. So I do really like the design of this interior with this center console that sort of fades into a screen, which is really nice. The screen is great. Still not a big fan of the OS in here. I think it's a bit too complicated, but you know, if you drive it for a couple of months, you'll probably get used to it, but I just don't think it's the most intuitive system. We've got a shortcut button right there, so you can get rid of all the stupid safety stuff, which is on automatically. So when you get into the car, you have to do this every time. They are very annoying. But I do like the fact, you know, the screen is great, the quality is great, it's very sharp and slick and everything looks cool. We've got a very cool steering wheel, which is super nice to hold, great shape, with these 2 spokes here with the touch buttons. So for my personal preference would be to have like regular buttons on there, but you know, this is the stuff right now. So yeah, it's all touch. Now we don't have adaptive dampers on this car, which is available in the C-Class, but as you can see, we don't have that. You can see that right here. And rear wheel steering is also new for this car. So that should be quite interesting on the C-Class. And adaptive damping as well. No air suspension available, only for the plug-in hybrids. Those will have air suspension in the rear as standard to cope with the weight of the batteries, I think. We do have the Burmester 3D audio system, which is very good, and we've got a lot of ambient lighting. So we've already uploaded a night POV of this car, so click in the top right corner if you want to check out that video. As always, it is quite a lot. So it is quite bright and there are a lot of lights. Yeah, it's kind of a Mercedes thing now, you know, and the videos do really well always, the Mercedes night POVs. So apparently there are a lot of people who really like it. And we've got lights in these air vents as well, and they light up in blue and red. I don't think you can see that right now, but they light up when you change the temperature. So they turn blue when you turn it down, and they turn red when you turn it up. We've seen that before. Materials are pretty good, I would say. The seats are pretty good as well. Not as supportive as I would like, but they are very comfy. But there's one thing that I really like about the interior of this car, which is this action. Oh, that is so satisfying. And these things are so satisfying to operate, because you've got that little magnet to center it, and that just, it all feels very, very expensive. Very, very good. Really like that. We've got the 9-speed 9G-tronic automatic gearbox mated to that 4-cylinder. We'll talk about that a little bit further when we take it for a drive. Now, let's see what this car is like to drive. We're going to start in comfort mode, because I think that's just the mode that most of the people are going to drive it in. Sport Plus in a C300 could be entertaining, but that's really not what they've focused on with this car. And we don't have adaptive dampers, so I think if you would have that, the difference would be bigger as well between Sport Plus and Comfort. This is just one setup, which is quite comfortable, apart from the fact that, like I said, I think it is a bit let down by those big wheels, because sometimes you get like quite a big jolt from like a pothole or a bump or whatever, and you're like, oh, that was really not nice. And I don't think you should have that feeling when you drive a C-Class. I think, you know, if you focus on comfort so much, that should be better, basically. But I think if you have adaptive dampers, that would be a little bit better. So if you want it to be more comfortable and you don't mind that it looks a bit less sporty, get those 18-inch wheels. I think that would help it a lot. Other than that, drivetrain wise, chassis wise, I think the first thing I said to Martijn when we picked up this car is that it feels like an old C-Class, like a previous gen. Yes, they have dressed it up with all this new S-Class stuff and this nice screen and whatever, but drivetrain, engine, gearbox and chassis, it doesn't feel like a big step from the last generation. And then I read today that this actually is a highly revised version of the last C-Class chassis. So yes, they've highly revised it, but I don't know, it feels like a previous gen C-Class with a nice suit. And I don't think that you can get away with that kind of stuff anymore, because if you drive a BMW 330i, it just drives a lot better. And I think the new Audi A4 can match this car for like comfort and stuff like that. So it's just the tech stuff that Mercedes really seems to be focused on and kind of spends all their budget on, and then decides to use a revised version of the last gen's chassis, which you kind of feel. So yeah, I don't really like that. What I do like is that it is super quiet in here. Honestly, that's very important for a comfortable car. If you have very little tire and wind noise, that means that a car is very comfortable to drive and to do long distances with. So if you drive along on a regular road, it's very quiet. It's just when you start asking some power, so we're going to go for Sport Plus. We've got some fake sound, which is almost louder than the engine right now, but if you have it in comfort mode, you can actually hear the engine. Well, I don't really know what to say about it. It's fine. The performance is not really great. If you compare it to a BMW 330i, which has around the same power, this car is over 3 seconds slower from 100 to 200 kilometers an hour. And that's a lot, 3 seconds. So yeah, that's clearly not what they are focusing on. So I find it hard to judge this car on something that they've clearly not spent enough attention and money on. And the tech stuff, yeah, is great. But I don't know how premium this car feels. You know, if you spend your hard-earned cash on this car, is that tech the only thing you're going to care about? Or is the fact that you feel like you're driving a previous gen car with a different suit going to matter? You know, is that going to hurt Mercedes? I don't know. It's very comfortable to do high speeds in, although the car is limited at 247 kilometers an hour GPS speed, and then it starts fading down, so it goes to 246, 245, 244. Cool. I do love this steering wheel. It's just great to hold. It's soft, it feels expensive. Yeah, it's very good. Now the car has grown compared to the previous generation in all ways apart from the height, so it should be a little bit more spacious in here for the people in the front and the rear. So let's go to comfort mode and turn off that fake engine sound, and I'll do another kick down so you can hear what it sounds like. That's just engine sound. I like that way better than the fake stuff. This is fine. Why does it have to be more than this? I don't understand, but especially in a car like this. But anyway, as I said, I find it kind of difficult to judge this car because we generally look at different things than I think a C300 buyer would look at. So I'm trying to like find a balance between judging it on stuff that we think is important and judging it on things that I think a C-Class buyer thinks are important. So I guess the combination between all that tech in here and the relative comfort, I think that's the thing that most C-Class buyers are going to be convinced by. And I have to say that it does look very good. This is all very high quality. This is okay. I mean, this is good. I like this. This is a good look. But the things that we look at, like the chassis, the suspension, the steering, the gearbox, the engine, they really can't convince me. So I don't think they've done a bad job, because I think the stuff I mentioned earlier, I think that's actually the most important stuff for them. So I guess they've done a good job on that front. Anyway, I can do this all day and keep talking in circles, but I'm not going to get anywhere, and we are at the border, so I'm going to end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think about the new C-Class. You can subscribe by clicking the big button and check out this video right here, or go check out this playlist. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.